Hey guys, Youngblood with you, and while we're a little bit late this week getting to it, we're going to summarize the Around the Verse and Happy Hour from last week. So starting off with Around the Verse, we do know that Evocati has 2.6.1, and we're testing the new changes to ships, weapons, flight model, and the mega map. If you're interested in more details, I covered all of that in the patch notes video from last week. As far as other things that they're working on, they are progressing on the shopping aspect of the game. With the design document now being completed, now they're working on getting it into production for us to get in and see. That's including things like shopping for things like weapons and ship parts and clothing and really any purchasable item, as well as things like pad service for ships like rearming or refueling and repairing. The animation team is working on the female character and has gotten work from the the general animations overall, including updating some of the animations that were originally created for the male and just kind of making it apply to that character. They are polishing the different animations at different speeds for when you're working in ships. So we've talked about how you've got the combat speed, entry and exit out of ships, then you get the emergency speed and the casual speed. Those are all being addressed now. And when that team is done working on those, they're going to start getting into custom startups for different ship cockpits. I think a good example of this is how the pilot acts when you enter a game mode in a Gladius. The work on the Super Hornet and the Cutlass Black continue and is apparently coming along nicely. They're working to use data centers all over the world that would allow smoother transitions to server and just better performance. These are most likely going to be located in America, Europe, and Australia. I hear all over the world, and I think more than that, considering, those are the ones that we have options today. So I wouldn't be surprised if that expands, but that's what they told us about. Lots of information regarding the ship pipeline was covered with a lot of detail from Luke Davis, Jim Martin, and Elwin. The primary focus has really moved from making pretty ships to making ships that work really well in the game and function as expected. I think the Caterpillar is a perfect example of that. It's not necessarily a pretty ship, but it's just designed so well. The biggest challenge for the ones that are actually creating the ships right now is making it match to what the specs of the ship should be from those that are actually creating the concepts. It relies on constant communication between teams. It would be nice if one of those teams turned out to be turbulent because we're all tired of the ship specs being out of date. Once a ship enters the gray box phase, that's when the tech design team steps in and starts working on making it actually flyable. Basically, they can't do anything until they see how the ship is moving and is actually built. From Happy Hour, we had Dave Haddock and Bad News Baron. If you don't know Bad News Baron, go check him out on Twitch. He's incredibly entertaining. We find out that there could be unknown alien races. But if they were to say that there's unknown alien races right now, they wouldn't be considered undiscovered since everything is true to lore. There are also less technically advanced species out there that we don't really consider, like the Banu or the Xian. A good example would be like Fair's apes, but they're going to be protected by the Fair Chance Act, sort of like what Starfleet has in their Prime Directive. There's going to be lots of types of mission givers out there, and they're going to not just be good or bad, but they may fluctuate based on your reputation with them. It's not always going to be black and white who's a good guy. So if I've got a good reputation with Miles and you've got a bad reputation with Miles, we're going to get different types of missions from Miles. It turns out that the Xian think humans are irrational, impulsive, and emotional, so they've got some stereotypes about us. The Banu have sort of adopted this, if you're cool with us, we're cool with you type of mentality towards humans. And finally, not knowing an alien language was confirmed to not be a real barrier since they don't want to penalize people who are unable to spend the time to do so learning that, which is good. But knowing and understanding the culture is going to impact your relations with them. So that's going to be your overall summary from the verse last week. We'll try and get another one done probably on Friday. Otherwise, stay tuned for a lot more content coming soon. Have yourselves a wonderful day, and take care.